Garrett was calling. Okay, so I never go live on Instagram. I don't know why, because I prefer Instagram over Facebook. But I just got out of Pilates, and hold on, let me hold on. Hopefully Garrett can see this because he keeps trying to call me. But I just got out of Pilates, and I had some thoughts that I wanted to share. Also, tropical cafe smoothie kills it. Never had it before, but this is so good. Sunrise Sunset got some spinach and some kale and some pea protein. So shout out to them. Go get you one. But had some thoughts that I wanted to share, and I want to talk about discipline, setting realistic expectations, and lazy fucking people. Okay, let's talk about it. So I recently started going to Pilates about, I don't know, probably a month or two ago, because I have a lot of low back issues. I've broken my back 3 times. And when I was weightlifting, I kept getting hurt. My chiropractor was like, yeah, dummy. Well, you can't do that because you're compressing your spine. So it was just this constant battle of lifting for a few days, being super scared, super cautious, and then hurting myself eventually. And I would have to take 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks off, right? So it's not very productive. But as I'm going to Pilates, things are starting to make sense in terms of business as well, right? So I'm a high ticket sales coach. I have a team of over, I think we're almost 400, if not more now. And so, hello, John Everhart. Congratulations on your retirement, sir. We got to do a live together too. But here's the thing, right? Discipline and setting realistic expectations. I've never done Pilates before, right? And when I start coaching people in business, the majority of them have never done any type of online sales, online business, anything like that ever, right? And Thursday night coaching call, Friday night coaching call, had a couple conversations with people when I was doing training, and they were like, hey, I've been in the business for 3 weeks, I haven't made a sale. I've been in the business for 6 weeks, I haven't made a sale. Why, yes, we do have people that do that. We have people that make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in a short amount of time like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's going to. And this is where setting realistic expectations come from, right? You can't expect when you go out and plant seeds in a garden, you go and plant an apple tree, that in 3 weeks you're going to have an apple, right? You're not going to be able to eat the fruits of your labor yet. You've never had an apple tree. Just like me going to Pilates, I'm not going to have 6-pack abs in 4 weeks. I mean, it's possible, I guess, but I'd have to be really, really, really disciplined on my diet, right? There's multiple things that go into being successful at whatever discipline you are in. So, been thinking about this. I love Pilates. I love them. They're my favorite thing ever that I've ever done. I've always been an active person. But in the mornings, because I go to the 9:15 class, I never want to go. I never want to get out of my cozy bed, my comfort zone, right? I never want to get out of there. I never want to get dressed. I would so much rather lay in bed and be comfy and cozy, especially on a Saturday and a Sunday, right? And where I'm at now, I'm going to Pilates about 5 to 7 times a week. But I get myself out of that damn bed and I go to Pilates, and I don't even know how I get there. That's the same thing in business. You have to just do the damn thing. Everybody out there is looking for a secret sauce or a secret recipe or a tip or a trick or something to get them motivated or get them out of bed, to get them working a business, to get them doing whatever the hell it is that they're wanting to do. But there's no trick. There's no secret sauce. It comes from a desire within of what you want and what you know is good for you, even in the moment when you don't want to do it. And so if I had the expectation to be really super fit, and I wanted to do that in 8 weeks, and I wanted to have abs, and I wanted to lose all this weight, right? I would have to have the discipline and the actions to meet that. So when the two do not meet, people get frustrated. But you always want to think about what you're putting into it and have realistic expectations. Yes, consistency is key. You guys got to get comfortable with doing the really boring shit over and over and over and over again until you're dead. Like, that's it. That's the secret sauce. You don't need to go out there and create all these funnels or take all these courses or do anything like that. You need to get back to the basics. Go to Pilates. I gotta wake up. I gotta drive my butt there like 10 minutes. I gotta walk up the freaking stairs that put me out of breath. And then I gotta go sit on that Pilates reformer. And then I gotta work my butt off for like 45 minutes. And afterwards, I always feel so much better, but it's that in-between section. It's that in-between section that always gets people, right? So whether it's business, whether it's working out, I always like to compare the two. And when people start making excuses, when people start not getting results, right? You know, if you don't go to the gym, you're not going to get results. You know, if you're out there eating junk food, you're not going to get results, right? So setting realistic expectations, and it's fine if you want to go eat junk food or not work out. It's fine if you don't want to consistently work your business every single day, but don't expect results. And also don't hold others accountable for the lack of effort that you're not bringing, such as a coach, a mentor, an upline. Doesn't matter. Your parents, your spouse, kids, I don't care. We, as human beings, as grown-ass adults, I don't know what happened in this like timeline shift of the last 10 years. I don't know. But people have gotten lazy. I'm going to be real honest with you. People have gotten lazy. And it's time to get out of laziness. It's time to do the damn work. If you want the results, we got to do the work. In order to do the work, there's Garrett. That's why I didn't answer your call, babe, because I'm on here. Parked in a church parking lot. Hopefully I don't burn up. I don't know. But we got to get away from just these entitled attitudes of just because I went to Pilates once, just because I have a gym membership, just because I started a business, an online business, does not mean you're guaranteed results. You're not going to see it if you don't put in the work and the effort. And the work and the effort's simple. We're back. I always like to say that there's a difference between simple and easy, right? I don't say that business is easy. Business is hard. Working out is hard. Exactly. People think you can get something for nothing. It's not. No. We're not there in this life. You can't do that. But simple and easy are two totally separate things. What I do, business, is simple. Online high-ticket business, very simple. John, that was just on here, I don't know if he's still on here, and Rachel, they just retired themselves in 10 months with a high-ticket business. She retired him. My husband, who probably maybe is still on here right now, I'm his sugar mama now. Like, we keep switching roles. He retired me a few years ago through our investments, and I would just come to him and ask for money. Like, hey, can I have money for this? I need money for this. I need money for this. I need money for this, right? Now the roles have switched. But we didn't get there by not putting in the effort, and the effort is simple. It's doing the things that you know you need to do that are boring as shit. Do the boring stuff, right? For him to be able to retire me, he had to sit down for the past 8 years and he had to learn the ins and outs of investing. That sounds kind of boring, right? He took himself back to school. He schooled himself. Same thing with starting a business. If you've never done it before, you got to start learning the basics. You got to build that foundation of your house, because if your foundation isn't poured properly, everything's going to crumble. You do not have a house if you do not have a strong foundation. So never, ever, ever skip the basics. Never, ever, ever let your ego get in the way of going back to the basics if you need to, right? Like, there's been times where I've had to check myself and be like, oh, well, I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. Let me go back and do the basics again. never be too good for the basics, right? And so those were just kind of my thoughts this morning as I was driving back from Pilates on a Saturday. Pilates that I did not want to go to, but I'm very happy that I did, and I'm happy for the experience. Because I also got to experience this amazing tropical smoothie. Sorry, babe, if you're on here, I did not get you one. Sorry. But just think about that. Whatever you guys are doing, whatever, if it's an online business, if you want to get fit, if you want to be a better, more present spouse, significant other, go back to the basics. I think that's the lesson of today. I'll go back and get you one if you want me to, or you can try mine, or we can go tomorrow and get one. Sorry. But go back to the basics. Don't let your ego get ahead of you. Go back to the basics. Set realistic expectations and detach yourself from the outcome and just enjoy the frickin' process. We live in a world right now with TikTok, and our attention spans are so short that we don't want to wait on anything. But that's not real life. It's just not. Basics, realistic expectations, and patience. Enjoy the journey. The journey is the joy, not the destination. I know everybody has this, like, I want to become a millionaire in 6 months. I want to do this in this amount of time. Just detach yourself from a timeline. I don't have a timeline for anything that I do, and I honestly, to my core, know that that's why I've become so successful. Because I don't care when it happens. I don't care. I'm just going to keep putting in the work until it happens. But when you set a timeline for yourself, and I'm not saying don't have goals, don't work towards something, in a year, right? Like, I do that. Like, I have a goal for the end of the year where I want to be, but my worth is not tied to that goal, right? I reverse engineer numbers in business. I reverse engineer everything. So if I want to be here in this certain amount of time, I know I got to do X, Y, and Z, right? And then I might get it. But life happens sometimes, and you got to give yourself grace if it doesn't. So detach from the outcome, set goals, but also realize that the universe has its own plan for you. Now, whether you believe in God or a Buddha, doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. The universe has a timeline for you. You just have to allow it to work in your favor. You have to allow yourself to be able to actually manifest this stuff, right? And that takes time. And in order to become the person that you want to be, you got to develop along the way in order to build that foundation, in order to acquire skill sets. Because the person you want to be, whether it be in business, working out, fitness, is not the same person that you are now. So you got to shed your skin. You got to release, let go. And if you're religious, they say let God, right? Let the universe take control, but take action. You can't just sit on your butt and wait for it to happen. You got to move. You got to move. You got to do the things that you don't want to do. And then you got to be proud of yourself afterwards and give yourself some flowers. Go get yourself a smoothie, right? Those are my thoughts for today. I'm going to probably do some more Instagram lives, to be quite honest with you. I love this platform even more than Facebook. So be on the lookout for those. I'll do some Q&As. I know everybody always has a ton of questions for me, but I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Yeah, go out there, slay the weekend, get back to the basics. I love y'all. Mwah! See ya. Now I don't know how to end this thing. Let's see. I think I've done one of these. Okay, here we go. Okay, bye.